Hey YouTube, today I'm here in my garage, or my little workshop behind the garage, as you can see. And I'm just basically gonna do a little video on kind of framing tips and tricks that I think can help you, whether you're a first year framer, whether this is your 5th or 10th year. Maybe something that I teach you today or show you can help you and actually in turn make you more money or make you more valuable to a crew. I know that some of the tips and tricks that I picked up over the years are things that I've stumbled upon from watching even first year guys do. And I thought, okay, that's very cool. That's gonna help me. I'm gonna remember that the next time I run into a similar situation. So basically, you can learn things along the way. You don't need to know things every day, or the first day, I should say. And it's just good to keep that open mindset. Okay, so let's start the video. I've made some notes here that just to kind of reference. So the first one I have is for the inside walls. When I nail the inside walls, I always put in the top, on the corners, the best studs. Now, a lot of you, this is a common practice that you've used over years, and you do it today without even thinking. But I've seen so many times guys put a crooked stud in the corner, and when you nail it to the end wall, it's very hard on the back framer to get that straight. So best studs in the corners, and also guys, remember, best studs in the most important rooms. The most important room being the kitchen and the bathrooms and any hallway. Okay, also, what I've done over the years is when I'm nailing an inside wall or an outside wall, I always make a habit of putting 3 nails in the top plate corner stud. And I do this for a few reasons. One is because when I tie in my outside plates, my top plates at the end, I want the plate to move. I don't want the stud to move. And also, what kind of ties into this whole point is when I'm nailing the corner of an inside wall plate, or stud I should say, I always leave the stud in about 1/8 of an inch. And I'll tell you why I do this. The reason I do this is because when you nail the inside wall to the outside wall, it'll suck the top plate tight. And what I mean is that gap will close and be nice and tight, and you won't have to fight and be there with the PV tool levering the top plate. It'll draw that in nice and tight. So that's always enjoyable, and that's going to save you some time and possibly frustration. Okay, let's see what I got here. Another thing that I find very useful, more so on the roof than anything else, is to get used to this Construction Master calculator. So basically, I'm going to show you a rundown of the calculator. Just that there's so many uses that I love for this when doing like hand cut roofs, but even production truss roofs, it can be very useful also. I'm going to show you one little use here. I got some blueprints with me from a bunch of houses back that have been sitting in my the back of my truck. So forgive me, they're pretty worn out, but let's just take a look at these blueprints real quick. So what I want you to notice is the pitch. On the back side, we have a 612. It's a cottage roof. And on the side, we have a 612. Very nice, easy roof to do. And basically, it's 2 cottages going into a cottage. So a lot of you, when you're cutting the common block, common being the rafter long to short block, you just step off with the framing square, and that's perfectly fine. But if you want to skip that method, I'll show you how. So if you look here, what we do, first thing we can do is we type in the run. So 22.5 inch run. Okay, from the drawings we know our pitch is 612. So we go back to our calculator, we type 6 inch pitch. Right away, our diagonal, 25.15. Well, what does that mean? Well, basically, to know exactly what size that is, push inch again, and you have 25 and an eighth. So that's going to be your long to short, 25 and an eighth, 612 run. Now, you might think, well, so what do I need to figure out now? Well, you can figure out the hip. So we know our common block is 25 and an eighth, which we'll cut out a bunch of, probably for this roof, between 25 and 30. So to figure out the hip, it's very easy. So what we do, our other side is 612. So we go 6 inch convert, hip, and push it again and twice, and that shows us our hip. Once again, we know that's 3/4, but just to confirm, bam, 33 3/4. That's going to be your long to short hip measurement. What I like to do, I like to put the diamonds on both sides of the hip, but that's all that's going to be, 35 3/4. Okay, now you might ask yourself, so what if this was a 7 or 8/12? Well, let's call it 8/12, okay? Just for argument's sake. So to find out, once again, let's start from the beginning. So clear that screen. We'll start off by getting our common measurement. Once again, type in 6 inch, so 612. Now the pitch. Now they need to know one of two. They need to know two of three things. They need to know your pitch and your rise, or your run and your pitch to find your diagonal. So we know our run is going to be 22.5. 22.5 inch run. Now we need to know our diagonal. Once again, 25 and an eighth. So now let's pretend this is a 7/12. Our offset pitch, our regular pitch, sorry. This is what we do. We type in 7 inch for our regular pitch, convert, hip. Okay, so this side, it's going to be 31 and 11/16. That's going to be our hip. So this is little tips you can use, and you can actually cut all the hip extensions, including this hip, by just knowing your run. And you can do this with this pitch too. 9 and 9, it's very easy and straightforward. But what I recommend to all framers out there, go out, pay the 50-60 bucks, get yourself one of these Construction Masters. This one's about 5 or 6 years old now, but it saved me so much time and money over the years. And I think it comes with a little booklet in the back. And just study it, play with it a little bit, and it'll make your life so much easier as a framer. Okay.